Do we have audio? Yes, sir. All right. Feeling motivated today. So I thought I could motivate, right? Is that how it works? I figured let's go live, and anybody that wants to roll in, power of attraction. If anybody needs me, I'm here for you, okay? Let's see here. So, why don't we get the YouTube chat up on this screen? That'd be amazing. Anybody that wants to pull up, ask me anything. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, baby boys and baby girls. We're going to raise the consciousness of the community, whether you like it or not. Okay? Let's see if this will work. Uh-oh. Okay, boom. Can we get the chat? Okay, here's the chat. All right. We're here. Why don't we start off with some tarot? Look at this. Why don't we start off with some tarot? Because that'll get the ball rolling for some motivation out here. I'm not a professional, by the way, guys. I'm just professional at spreading love, okay? I'm not professional at knowing what each card means, but we got the book and we got everything we need because we got God. That's how it works. Secret sauce, you can click off right now. Ask me anything. I'm open. I'm open to share anything about life, any kind of question that anyone has that's watching. I'm going to keep this streaming for a while, so we're going to see what kind of questions we get. This should be fun. Sexual preferences, anything. I'm talking anything. I'm not shy. Stool samples, I don't care. I will tell you whatever weird shit you want to know. Why don't we start off with some energy oracles here? This should be great. Okay. We're going to see here. What is a general energy for the collective tonight? Why am I feeling so juiced up? Why am I feeling like I need to preach to these people today? What's going on today? What's the energy feeling like? For me, let's say. Just for fun. We'll start off with me. Since nobody's here yet, right? All right. One card for me. It says, love is your energy. Yes, sir. It sure is. I have to start to brush up on my alphabet. Because I'm always going through the whole thing from the beginning, you know, in my mind, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Okay, L. I don't even know if this is, damn, bro, this isn't even numbered or nothing. They don't help you out too much, but that's fine. Is there a table of contents? Boom. Flying by the seat of our pants. This is going to be fun. I'm just trying to decipher how to read this book. Like, how does it work? Love is your energy. Let's look in the table of contents here. I don't see it. Am I tripping? Is this even the right book? Maybe it's not even the right book. Let's see. It's not even the right book. Okay, that's why. We got the books mixed up with this other deck here. The cases are mixed up. That's what it was. Boom, okay. We'll return that one. There we go. This is for later. This is the energy oracles. Dude, I'm so confused. Okay. Oh my gosh, I put it in the top of the book. This is off to a brutal start, but you know, this is just how you do it. I'm not scared of failing, right? We're just hanging out. We're gonna get to this love is your energy sooner or later. These decks are the exact same width. So it's a recipe for disaster is what it is. Okay, we'll put that aside. Now we'll get into her here. Okay, this will be easier to find since it's actually the right book. Love is your energy, page 76. Okay. So, your soul is energy. The closest word on earth to describe that energy is love. It is your natural state. After your higher self has conferred with its guides before incarnation, the awareness of your divine loving nature is then filtered through the physical dimension, where love is the natural state. This is why Earth is such a challenging experience. Every soul incarnates here with the best intentions of manifesting the energy of love in all they do, but this dimension is a worthy opponent. Compassion, empathy, and equality can easily be taken over by apathy, indifference, and prejudice. The card is a reminder to you that all the challenges life on Earth throws at you can be minimized by exercising the innate power of love within you. Love is the greatest healing force. It unites and understands. Never be afraid to demonstrate love in all its manifestations, for it will always be true to you because it is you. All right? So I was having a discussion with my dad the other day about how it's very controversial, right, to talk about Jesus, okay? Because we were saying that all he was saying is love, basically, okay? And a lot of people would say, oh, there's the whole Bible. Why would you say that? That's all he was saying. But we were discussing the differences between spirituality and the differences between organized religion, right? So basically, you don't have to read the entire Bible, or you don't have to know everything about Christianity or any religion to understand that Jesus was trying to spread love into the world, right? So when we say, what would Jesus do, or what would a spiritual leader, what would an ascended master do, we don't have to overthink it, right? Jesus' intention was spreading understanding and love, and he was conveying it in, different ways. Just like Buddha, just like the yogis, they all had the intention of love, and they were just spreading that energy. So if you know the intention behind it, if you spread love into the world, you don't really have to overthink the words that you're using. Like me hopping on here, ask me anything, right? Why am I so confident in that? It's because everything is going to be true because I speak truth, first of all. I only speak truth because I have a relationship with God. And also that if I have the right intention going into it, I can't say anything wrong, That's a secret sauce, guys. So, there's different formulas and different little cheat codes to the universe that once you know them, once you know these simple things, you can do anything, You can be successful at whatever endeavor you pursue because you have the right intention. And if we, study law of attraction, and we can also infer from that if you put out good energy, then you'll receive it too. So I have no intention of, receiving anything from the stream tonight. It's just purely to vibe and just to spread love. So what a great card to start out on, guys. It was kind of slow starting, but we're getting there, okay? We got the book now. We're cooking. We're cooking with fire, as they say. We're cooking with love, let's say. This is fun, guys. I'm vibing. And I'm not even high, not even drunk. This is just spiritual vibes. This is the thing. Lord, fill my cup. Card just jumped out at me here from the message from the guides. We got understand your body with the lovely green background. Let's see what understand your body means here in this context. All right. Page 100. You know what I was thinking today? I thought, yeah, man, you can get a card or a Taiwan Knox. Female or male? I need to know that for the energy. You can get a card reading. I'm just gonna finish this understand your body thing, and then we'll get to flipping some cards for you. Do you want tarot, or do you want this little message from the guides thing that I'm doing right here? Understand your body. To have this valuable experience in the physical dimension, your soul needs a body to manifest, right, guys? The decision to which vehicle will best fulfill your soul's blueprints is of utmost importance. A lot of humans ask, what is my purpose? And the biggest clue is looking back at you in the mirror. Understand this. Your higher self and your guides help select a body that is solely created by nature. The body, its genetics, race, and gender, sexual orientation, and geographic location are of the earthly dimension. The spirit realms do not control these things, but these factors are known to your higher self as guides before you incarnate. As an analogy, if you want a car that's brand new, blue convertible with a V8 engine, you don't get inside of a used green minivan and will it to change. So what you do is this. You go searching for the car, and then you fulfill your needs. That's why it's important to know and understand your body. It provides insight as well as to what lessons you are here to learn. When this card appears in your spread, ponder this. Why was this body chosen? I'll pull some tarot for you, bud. Any specific questions that you want to ask? So on the body, right? If you become very in tune with your body in your mental state, let's say, okay, your body will follow. Like I used to be a little bit, overweight and this and that, like pimply face and shit. I was greasy hair, greasy face, goddamn smelly little dude, right? We all come from the mud, but the reason for that, okay, was because I hadn't accepted my path, right? My purpose. We all know our purpose. We're just in denial of it. Like I was always spiritual. I was always a philosopher at heart. I was in denial of that, right? I was just asking, oh, what's my purpose? What job do I want to do to make money, right? Take money out of the equation, right? And then you blossom because you're not worried about these material desires. You're vibing. You know what I mean? So if you listen to your body, okay? Or I want to stress this. If your mind, we'll pull some romance for you. In your mind, okay? Once you become balanced and healthy, your body follows and follows suit. So it's like, I got a 6-pack. I changed my diet slightly, but not even that much. Even when I was eating fast food every day, I was, even when I was just smoking weed for breakfast and lunch and supper, I was, because the secret sauce is your brain, if you're using your brain and if your mental capacities are working overdrive, okay, through motivation, and if you're just always like using your mind for healthy purposes, that actually burns energy. You don't have to physically exert your body, okay? So let's pull some tarot here for Taiwan Knox. That's a cool name. So, okay, what does the universe want to tell Taiwan for some romance in the future here? What's his love life looking like here? We're out here looking for soulmates in the soulmate cycle. I feel you, bro. Same. Power of attraction. We just gotta relax and let it come to us. Let's see what's coming to you. Let's say in general first, and then we can get more specific. So top of the deck here, it says the Tower. Ooh. So that's what's crazy with this? A lot of people look at this as getting struck by lightning, right? But the esoteric understanding of this card is that this is actually the male phallic ejaculating, okay? It's an understanding of it. But if you look at it, you can totally understand. So that's a good sign, Let's look at what the big guidebook here wants to tell you for the love and relationship aspect of that card, because there's different understandings of it for different applications, as we all know, but for the love aspect, we're going to dive into that and we're going to see what that means for you. Kind of a cool card to get, actually. Let's see here. It says for love and relationships, the more you can act consciously and directly, the more you will experience love and be protected against aggressive demands. Live your development as if it were an experiment and keep your eyes open. So basically, just signal intent. But the thing with signaling intent is if you focus too much on the intent, then that will kind of stifle your progress, right? Because in the law of attraction, like it said there, if you're confident, signal intent, but let go at the same time, right? Put it out there, maybe write it down for manifestations, okay? Say it aloud to the universe. No shame in your game, you're right. Signal the intent, okay, I want this individual or someone better. Or let's just say, I'd like a person that loves me the way I love them in my life and not be a narcissist. Once you say that, maybe just leave it for a bit, right? And focus on yourself, turn the love inward. And once you become that's very attractive, right, to other people too. That's why it's the law of attraction, because when you see somebody that has that confidence, they're an attractive person, right? Because they're focusing on themselves. They're not needy. So what I did today, I'm not ashamed to say it, is I went and deleted so many tarot people that I followed because I acknowledged a tarot addiction. Okay. And what I said was, okay, if I'm watching all these videos on my, like, oh, soulmate, this and that, like love tarot, then this is kind of like going against some tarot love people. They might not want me to say this, but that's actually counteracting the law of attraction because you're kind of chasing it, right? You don't want to chase the love. So you just need to embody the confidence in yourself. And yeah, I just deleted so many like love tarot videos because I said this totally is inhibiting the process of finding love. If you're chasing love and you're in that energy, you have to embody the energy that you already have the love in you. Be confident, be happy, and then you'll get that love that you're seeking, bro. I hope that helped. Let's pull some more of these oracle cards, and if anybody else wants some tarot, let me know and I'll start pulling some tarot. But it's cool because I don't have many subscribers, so I feel like the people that come in here are they're meant to be here, and I'm meant to talk to you guys, or we're meant to link up, because it is a very slim chance that we would have met today, Taiwan, because I have 8 subscribers, right? So it's pretty cool. That's the law of attraction working in your life right there, buddy. Right? Let's pull another. Let's pull one. Since you're in here, you're the only person in here right now. Let's pull. What are these cards that I'm using even? Messages from the guides. Let's see what your guides would like to tell you on love, okay? What your guides would like to tell you on love. It says, stay open-minded. That's like what I'm saying, right? We don't want to get discouraged. Okay, Taiwan Peace, I think, but we'll keep going here. For him and the collective. So stay open-minded. Let's see what the book says, and then I'll start ranting because I have just so much energy tonight. I just watched Gary V. That's why I'm so stoked. He's like fuck it personality, straight up. I got a case of the fuck it's today. Stay open-minded. Page 92. Your soul is a constant state of evolution. It evolves in the spirit world as well as in the physical. But in the physical destinations like Earth, that your soul grows exponentially. The lessons you learn while experiencing the illusion of separateness are so profound, and the paths that unfold before you can be surprising. That's why it is important to be open to change. New people, new ways of living, new beliefs, and new events are always a part of the soul's journey on Earth. To remain rigid in your thinking can prevent you from being introduced to new ideas that will enrich your adventure here. Life is all about transition, and when you remain receptive, you can experiment while you are fulfilling your blueprint. As you familiarize yourself with this card, picture a river that begins in the mountains and ends in the sea. This is your life's trajectory, but there are many tributaries. I take that as like tribulations, maybe, that you can take and still reach your destination. Tributaries. We need to look that up, what that means. Be open to investigating all the avenues that intrigue you. Some will prove invaluable, and you may want to stay a while. and others you may not, but to experience them at all is what matters. So basically in life, you can there's no wrong experience, right? You don't have to be scared of really doing anything. Like there's no wrong choice in life because we all gain experience from what we do. Like say if we went to a sketchy bar, right? Maybe we get beat up. That's a good story. Next Christmas time that we're with the family. Oh yeah, so I got beat up. It was fun. Like I don't know. It's just it makes for good stories, right? Another thing speaking on that card is that we shouldn't be scared to fail in life because like I just said, if we look at it optimistically as the failure as a learning experience or just as a funny story, right? Then we kind of transmute that experience from a failure to a win, really, because hey, that was a win. I gained a new experience, even if technically it was a failure, right? But at the same time, anything in life, if you do technically fail, and when we are talking spiritual, okay, analytically, you failed, okay, you can just try again. In most senses, even with a relationship, say if a girl's, uh talking shit or whatever, and maybe you speak up for yourself or you stand up to your boss and you get fired. Well, okay, most sense you can just go get a new job, or you can, most senses, you can try the relationship again. Like you can always get back together with the person. You shouldn't be scared to speak your truth in the world, because most of the time you can attempt it again, or with a failure, say at a business position. Most business owners have had businesses that their first 3 businesses have failed, So we shouldn't be scared of failure or experiencing new experiences and getting out of our comfort zone, because most of the time they'll lead to happiness, and YOLO, man. Don't be scared to die, because if we're close to death, then we actually know that we want to live more, because we know death is inevitable and it's coming, so we're trying to live more, right? Does anybody have it says never judge another here. Should we pull from these we're pulling from the messages from the guides right now, but let's go over to the energy oracle cards and we'll see what this little chickie poo wants to tell us here. She's got a tattoo on her face. What angel have you seen that as a tat on her face? Like Mike Tyson, man. That's sick. Or maybe it's face paint, but either way, I'm digging it. I don't want to get these boxes mixed up again, because that was a fail. Talk about a fail, but we're still going, right? This is a cool deck. You guys are going to like the messages from this for sure. Very motivational. We'll give her a shuffle here and we'll see what pops out. Let's ask a question. What does the universe want to tell the peeps today about, let's say, achieving their goals? Because I'm in a motivational vibe today. Okay. What does the universe want to tell the general peeps about achieving their goals? Because it's the new year. Everybody's probably made their little, whatever it's called, little New Year's resolutions. And we're probably all feeling motivated, right? Top of the deck, it says the world. I'll show you guys the image. It's like a ghostly apparition standing at the end of a dock on another planet with water and lily pads. And the world is there in the air. So let's see what this has to say. I'm pretty new to these decks too. That's why I'm kind of flipping through the book. I just picked them up. I haven't flipped through them by myself. I've only just done one reading with them before. So expansion and opening up. In the upright, the man in this picture is looking out over a bay, above which is a beautiful sphere of the earth, and it's rotating. The card is reminding you to expand your vision and contemplate some much broader options. The world is wide, so there's a lot out there to consider. In the modern age of technology, this could specifically be referring to creating or expanding to a more global network through the internet or social marketing. Drawing this card also lets you know that you have unlimited resources available to you, and know that this time is to think big. As they say, the world is your oyster, so get ready to gobble it up. So in our businesses, say, if anyone wants to start these little businesses, that we're thinking, okay, I'd like to be a little bit more self-sufficient in this 2022, right? I want to be a little bit more independent. This is the great job resignation era. Everybody's quitting their job because of, say, COVID and shit. And a lot of people want to be more self-sufficient, okay? Well, we might look into the internet and think, Jesus, with how many people that are in my field, it's pretty competitive. But, right, we, when we're born, have a birthright to abundance, okay? If we use the law of attraction with this abundance mentality, then we know that if it's meant for us, it's meant for us. We can get financial stability or whatever we so desire, because if you put out the energy for it, and if if it's your purpose, let's say, then of course you can get it. It doesn't matter what type of people in your field. You'll skyrocket to the top because it's meant for you, and there's no competition. Everybody has their own lane in this day and age. We could all find our niche. Like me, I'm just being myself, and whatever I attract, cool with me, I'm putting my music out there, I'm putting my spirituality, my philosophy, and I'm trying to attract my tribe, So you don't need to appeal to everybody. You'll appeal to who needs your material, right? And who needs your resource, or the customers that you require for your business will come. Especially if you dial it into Facebook marketing and really get demographics and dial in those specific things. I wrote something down from Gary Vee today, actually talking about that, about the business side of things, that says it's not a context battle, it's a context battle, not a content battle. Basically appealing to the niches and stuff like that, right? Because we're probably all on that grind mentality, but we shouldn't be on the grind mentality. We should just be on the release positive energy mentality and grind that to infinity instead of worry too much about the results, right? We're trying to just make great, valuable content. Focus on the value, and then you'll get the business, going where you want it to go, because they'll see that you're not just, saying things to plug your business or try to funnel them into a sale, It's all just about providing value in this day and age, and people are going to see through the bullshit if you're not providing true value from a good standpoint. It's all about intention, right? So let's get into another one of these cards from the guides. Oh, what a perfect one to follow it up. Look at this action. As you can see, this black horse is on this white horse's ass. I'm getting strong yin and yang vibes. And look at that. At the very top of the page, we have a little... or top of the card, we have a little eagle soaring. So I wonder what the symbolism in that means. Oh shit, what card was that? 17. Action. Energizing effort and willingness to work. So this card tells you that now is the time for more aggressive forward movement. The galloping horses represent intentional and concentrated action directed to your goals. This card upright indicates that you are on the right track, but your determined efforts must increase. The white horse is inner action and spirit and thought, and the black is the outer work that still needs to be done. So continue taking action and trust your intuition. In time, you'll break through and see the results you've been working so hard to create. So a lot of the time in spirituality, where it's all in the rah-rah and the hoo-hoo and, okay, I'm going to write this down and think about this, and I have to learn so much of this positive attraction bullshit, right? Put in the action, and then at the same time as the studies, because you do need to manifest it into the physical. If we look at the Star of David, we have the triangle pointing downwards and then the triangle pointing upwards. And what that represents is we want to bring the spiritual knowledge down into earth and manifest it, though, into the world. So a lot of spiritualists miss that part of it, where they're just manifesting so much with the downward triangle, manifesting all the spiritual knowledge down from God. That's great, but at the same time, we have a body, right, to physically interact with the earth forces, and it's beautiful, because if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to spread the knowledge. We'd be a ghost, right? So I think in this time, in the new year, the last cycle was a lot of, meditative thought, and like in the tarot, it's kind of like the hermit journey of self, and really discovering what you want. And it's great to make a plan, but now I think we're in the time of not overthinking it. Just like me tonight, just getting on here, whoever wants to ask whatever, I'm just putting in the action, because I've done a lot of the meditative work beforehand. So, and it's all a cycle, right? Energy is cyclical. So after you do a lot of action, you have to go into a state of repose and really, be super receptive, and be like a sponge to that energetic world, and then boom, go spread it. So eventually you'll close that cycle where maybe in the morning you're meditating, and then you're doing action in the day, and you can shorten the cycles, and you can get a nice balance of both, just to manifest into the world. But yeah, action, the cards that I'm pulling here is really the energy that I've been feeling lately too, of kind of being antsy because there's no action, and it's just too much planning, Look at this yin yang on the cut. So we'll pull that, because I actually wanted to speak on that a little bit, because of the black and white horses, about the spiritual realm and the action, right? We have the feminine force, which is the love, and which is the sort of speculative side of our minds, philosophical side. And then we have the male fire aspects in each of us, even the women, that is the exertion of effort that we need to put together to create into the world. So they're both essential, and they both require attention, and hence the balance aspect, right? We don't want to have one kind of overstepping on the other, because then we become, either you have analysis paralysis, where you might just be overthinking, or you might be like those people that you see in the world, sort of narcissistic people, that they have false confidence, because they have so much action without any substance. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, you're talking and you're confident, but what are you saying? There's no intention behind what you're saying. It's just bullshit. So you have to have both. And I recommend, to get that feminine aspect, and to cultivate a good spiritual relationship with God before you go forth into the world and do the action, so you have something to spread into the world, and so you're confident in what you're saying. It's not a false confidence, right? So let's see what this yin yang number 22 wants to say. Passive, active, and intuitive and logical. So this is a lot of the psyche aspects of what I was talking about. This card represents energetic life cycles, and its purpose is to help you identify the particular cyclical energy moving into or out of your experience. In the upright, it heralds a yin cycle, where most of the action seems to be happening under the surface of things. This is a time of great receptivity, intuition, and gestation. External circumstances may be forcing you to go within and examine present activity. It's an especially good time for completion, so wrap things up. Yin cycles often call you to be passive, yielding, and reflective, so open up to these sides of your nature. Being more than acting is the intention here, okay? So there, something that I didn't go into with the yin and yang is talking about completing cycles, okay? So a lot of times in life, we have too much things on the go. We have a lot of passion projects, a lot of ideas, okay? We're not short of ideas, right? But a great way to sort of clear your mind of all the things that you need to do is just tackle one thing at a time to completion, right? So it's frustrating because I just kind of escaped that with this live here, but like lately I've been trying to get my whole SoundCloud library on YouTube, and that was a goal, and I didn't want to tackle anything until I've completed that, But it is like a lofty, like I have like 45 videos, so it's getting pretty stale making lyric videos and uploading them. I want to, do some spirituality, spread some love into the world already. But other than that, it's like in a project that you have, break it down in chunks and then complete that chunk, say, to completion. Because if you have too many things on the go, you run the risk of ignoring one of those like projects. Say for instance, okay, I can tell you guys right here. We'll use this as an example. I'm a musician. I make songs. I have a bunch of songs on the go at a time sometimes, right? Lately, I've been completing one song to completion, uploading it, then moving on. Because a lot of the time, I run the risk, since I'm using myself as an example, of, say if you like share a snippet of a song, people listen to it, they get good reception. In your brain, it's scientifically proven that like the dopamine releases are the exact same as if you would have fully released the song, as if you just released a snippet and got a couple comments about it. And then after that, a lot of your motivation to finish that little project might be dwindling because you've already got the recognition that you were requiring, So a lot of the time you need to bring a project to completion or it might not get done. And if you have too many things on the go, then that's when anxiety starts to build up and stuff. So just, focus on one thing at a time, complete it, move on, forget about it, right? I'm going to move on to these, I'm going to keep going with these messages from the guides books here because there's a lot of like yin and yang stuff in it, which is cool. And if anybody wants any questions or like card pulls, I got tarot decks here too. We can do it all. I'm here for the long haul. It's 3:10. I should be sleeping. It's 3:10 a.m. I should be out cold, but I got energy to spread. Let's see what this is on the top of the deck for the collective. Let's ask a question here. Let's see what are some underlying forces that we have within us that we might be ignoring right now that can actually help cultivate success in our endeavor. Okay? Let's see. It says walking away. So a lot of us have the ability to cut bitches off, but we might be attached to them for, emotional reasons. Let's see what the book wants to tell us here on walking away, okay? An energy within us that we can cultivate to achieve our goals. We got to be cold sometimes, guys. It is what it is, It says letting go and moving on. This card shows someone walking away from an existing situation. She is closing the gate behind her and is walking away into a misty, unknown future. The card upright reveals that it could be time for you to make a similar decision. There may be something that you're finished with, perhaps a career goal, a relationship, or a long-term experience of any kind. The familiarity of the situation may be enticing, but you're now ready to look at your option on the road ahead. In reality, an important new beginning is at hand. So guys, a lot of the times when we do release it, God or the universe is just waiting to grant you with a new opportunity, but you've been holding on and, trying to beat that dead horse so long that a new opportunity isn't granted to you because whatever stale situation you're staying in, you're consciously just trying to make it work. So it says the card also indicates that now would be a good time to let go of an old habit, emotional pattern, or false belief. No matter how deeply ingrained a negative pattern may be, you now have the power to release it and move on to a freer, healthier way of thinking and relating to yourself and others. Whether it's the inner or outer world, this card is telling you that you have the readiness and resources to walk away from an old and move forward now. So what I'm getting from this card, okay, is strong rebirth vibes. Okay, so a great little tidbit of advice that I had, because I seeked advice on YouTube a lot when I was a child, because I had to transmute a lot of negative tendencies that I was born with. So the confidence in me right now I wasn't born with. I was very socially anxious and just super awkward as a kid. This is a learned behavior that I've embodied lately, okay? It's like with conversational skills too. I didn't know how to small talk before, so I had to research it. Now I'm a better conversationalist than most because I actually researched it. So sometimes our negative tendencies are actually kind of a a gift in disguise, because it helps us actually face them, cultivate them, and then you improve them on to maybe even higher than if you were born with like a neutral kind of ability in the skill, right? So let's talk about having a rebirth with confidence, okay? I was always shy, okay? I saw a guy talk on YouTube. I can't quote him because I was like probably like 16 when I watched the video, so I'd love to reference him and give him some shout outs, but I don't know who it was. He was bald. He was a motivational speaker on YouTube. And anyways, he was talking about how he came from the same situation, being very shy. But he said, "You're not shy around your family and loved ones, right? When you're around your family, you're just speaking normally, and your friends, there's no sort of like filter. You're just speaking from your heart, letting it fly. There's no sort of like awkwardness. When you're around other people, you're telling yourself, I'm a shy person. So when you're around those people, you're embodying that so-called shy personality trait that you embody, right? There's no such thing as being shy. Like you could just wake up one day and say, I'm not shy, and then go forth, and then the next person you meet, why do you have to say I'm shy when you meet a new person? Why can't you just have a fresh start? They haven't met you before. They don't know that you're shy. So you can go into that interaction with the confidence on being a person that you want to be. They will see that too, and then they won't even know you're shy. They don't know your life. They can't read your mind. So we can be a new person every day that we wake up. We don't have to embody these past experiences and awkward things that happened to us in our life. We can just totally reinvent ourselves at any point in our life, and just be a totally new person. Were just experiences that we had. That's not our soul. No soul out there is shy, We all have the ability to be selfless. So that's what I want to say about the rebirth aspect, I just love rebirths. Like, I'm a new person every day, man. I don't even think that I have a personality anymore. I'm like an anti-personality. I don't even associate with a character. Fuck all, I'm just kind of myself, and then it leads to freedom and a lot of self-appreciation, because you're not trying to fit into a mold. You're just kind of like, fuck it. People accept me or they don't. I don't really care at the end of the day. I'm doing this for myself and my own like well-being, A card just jumped out of my face here when I was shuffling the cards. But I don't want to talk about it because I didn't even ask the universe a question yet. I'm going to get onto some tarot here because this deck was just wonderful. Okay, look, I'm already mixing it up the boxes. Oh my goodness. We need to realize that our friends and family and their perception of who we used to be and the things that they tell us we are, like our perception of ourselves is what other people have told us about ourselves. Oh, you're cool, or you're real chill or something, And then a lot of the times when we start to act differently than our family and friends have known us to be, a lot of the times they'll try to pull us down because they don't want change. They don't want us to transform into something else and leave them. So a lot of the times, if you're exhibiting traits that are unlike your old self, they'll try to say that's lame or something because they don't want to change themselves. They don't want to see you change. So you just have to realize that, we're always evolving into greater and greater versions of ourselves, like Pokemon. Okay? What's your final form? There is no final form. Let's see here. We got some tarot here. Let's pull some tarot. Okay. Let's ask let's ask the universe, how can we release any negative sort of negative aspects of ourself, like negative self-talk. How can we release any of this negative self-worth and shit? how can we become more how can we have more self-confidence? Ooh, two cards popped out. We have the Page of Swords and the Moon. I don't even know how to word what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to say, yeah, I already stumbled through it, so we'll keep it at that. Let's see what the Page of Swords has to say about how can we be more self-aware is what I was trying to say, okay? How can we become more self-aware and self-confident simultaneously? Where's my tarot book? Hello? I don't even have a lot of places in here for it to get lost in. There we go. Okay, the Page of Swords. It says, you were like this page. This card emphasizes your sovereignty and also your young and dynamic side. You have and are developing a masterful, innovative way of dealing with the aerial forces of life. All your skills as a human being with a spirit and a discriminating mind are needed. So the basic meaning here says the adventure of ideas and insights. What's happening? What is going on? And what do I think about that? As is the case with this court card, this page represents an ideal, the perfect mastery over the element in question. In this case, the swords is the air, or the words or thoughts. Okay? And it says, you are like this page, or you're well on your way. And or you're destined to meet somebody embodying this page that might be coming into your life in the near future. So spiritual experience, it says, surprise yourself, stay alert, and think beyond your own limitations. As the card of the day, get an overview of what's going on, show initiative, and present your thoughts and ideas to the world. As a tendency, this card points to the way to innovation and unconventional experimental thinking, and it warns against gullibility and ignorance. You gain mastery over the sword in your thoughts. So for love and relationships, if anyone's trying to find a boo, love in every way. Have the courage to trust yourself, and there are more ways and possibilities than you think. So for success and happiness, love is an attitude. Try it at work and in your home. You will achieve much more that way than any other. So obviously love is the key to the universe. Okay, that's a secret code. But also I wanted to go into here with the thoughts and emotions. It talks about what was I wanting to say there? Limiting beliefs. Maybe I'll just go into saying it when I get an intuitive thought next time and pause and then continue reading. I don't know, guys. We'll move on to this other card here. It was the Moon. That was pretty self-explanatory, though. It's basically just talking about, attracting things with being confident in yourself. Because when I ask the universe what's something that is in us that, we can... Oh, that's what I was going to say about losing a negative tendency here. With just having the confidence in what you believe at the same time, A lot of the times we're not confident in our thoughts, and we might think that, we're not good enough or whatever, but self-confidence goes a long way, because once you embody that, you get received as confident and know what you're talking about too. So the Moon here, what's something that we can lose in ourselves? Because guys, we all have negative tendencies, and we need to realize that, we're not all perfect. There's a lot of things that we can get rid of that are just inhibiting our growth inside of us, like doctrines and certain modes of thinking that were put upon us maybe by our parents or by society or by friends that aren't the healthiest, okay? So we don't need to learn anything. We just need to get rid of some stuff, and then the weight will be off our shoulders, and then we can blossom. The Moon conjures up hidden impulses, even the creature of the depths, old-seated instincts. A sky decorated the gold or decorated with gold seem suddenly to be close enough to touch. This can be upsetting, like a night when the moon is full, an invitation and exhortation to have the courage of your strongest feelings. The moon stands for the collective subconscious. Okay? So, basic meaning here. With this card, we often find ourselves in moods that we first don't understand. There is a danger of being swept away by these spiritual surges, and the great opportunity consists in experiencing empathy with all creatures, feeling at home in all places, and in taking on a wider identity. So a lot of the time in spiritualism, we think that, okay, we're losing who we are, but really it's expanding your consciousness. You're still who you were, you're just a wider identity. Eventually, you'll identify with the whole world and you won't see separateness between yourself and the world. And then you have such a heightened consciousness because it's grown to a point where you know that little dog running around has the same subconscious as yourself. You relate to him, so you would never do wrong by anything, and you become Buddha mind, okay? So spiritual experience here, it says empathy, not sympathy. Love, share, but don't identify yourself with other people's emotions. So a lot of the time, say if we say something and somebody reacts a certain way, that's how kids in society, like that's how kids in life learn how to act, by other people's reactions, okay? If you go and fart in public, okay? People look at you like this. You say, oh, that facial expression didn't feel good. I won't fart in public again. Not going to do that, But if you base what you do on other people's reactions, you're going to be fucked, because I'll tell you what, a lot of the time people are just projecting their own insecurities on your whatever you did. You know what I mean? So it's everybody farts. Okay? I'm not saying that I'm a gross guy and I'm going to fart in public. That's because I don't want to. And that's not because society doesn't want me to. That's because I don't want to fart in public. It's my personal opinion. It's not because other people don't want me to. You know what I mean? So you need to do things for yourself and not based on what other people want from you, because they're going to project. End of story. As the card of the day, the greatest feelings and the final matters of life are realities and need to be lived as much as anything else. So sacrificing, say, love for a relationship that's materialistic in nature, because that's what society says. You should have this husband with the big car and the big house and shit. Sacrificing your feelings at the end of your life when you're on your deathbed, is that going to be a life well lived because you were rolling around in a Benz and society was happy? No. A lot of these status symbols, we're living our life for people that we don't give a shit about. Like, we're trying to impress people that we don't care about. So live life for yourself, okay? As a prognosis or tendency, the promise contained in this card is the transformation from a life longings and cravings to one of release and energetic satisfaction. So just the very act of desiring in Buddhism, you're lost in the sauce right there. Like, you shouldn't desire for enlightenment or anything. Like, you get rid of desiring, and then once you're not living in the past, you're not living in the future desiring something, you're just in the moment, then that's when true inner peace is found. Okay, because there's nothing. There's literally nothing. That's why it says in dualism and oneness is that in Taoism, okay, you get God is oneness, but God is also dualistic in nature. So you should desire, but at the same time, it's like talking about this. It says God is everything, but at the same time, God is nothing. And you might think that is contradictory, or that's an oxymoron, but no, that's two sides of the same coin. So there can be opposite things existing simultaneously in the universe that seem diametric and opposed in nature, but are really factual, and they're both universal truths, even though they're opposites. It's like people look at like opposites in say the universe, and they look at things like everything's dualistic. But if we look at, say, hot and cold, those are opposites of each other, but they're both one energetic representation on opposite ends of the same spectrum. They're both temperature, just like black and white. Black and white aren't opposites. Black is just the absence of light. It's the opposite of the same spectrum. They're both light. So they're both one, even though they're opposite. Just like our bodies in the universe. We look at it as separate, but they're all existing in the same pot of soup, so that they're actually one, So the whole idea of separateness and stuff is just an illusion that our ego obtains because we see physical separation in the world with our eyeballs, but our eyeballs can only see a certain light spectrum, like bats, for example. Their reality is totally different than ours. Like, humans look out into the world like we have base reality, but in a bat's echolocation viewpoint on that, specific spectrum that he sees in, like, what the hell would we look like to a bat? It'd be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he lives in a total different wavelength than humans. So the world that we see with our eyes and the tangible world shouldn't be taken for face value, because that's just what we can peer into with even, with all our five senses. But there's many different dimensions and things that exist beyond ourselves that we can't see with our physical eyes that do exist in science. Fact. It says, for success and happiness, make peace with your God and your world. And the card is an encouragement to open one's heart and cast off one's awkwardness. So a lot of things, when people listen to the word God, it's like, okay, what is God? It's so abstract, But all we got to know, in the Bible, it says God is good, right? So if we take the inverse of that, it would be good is God. So we're all born with a conscience. We all know what is good and what is bad. So if we follow what is good all the time, you're following God, Like, you're basically acting as Jesus would. You're trying to just do good. Like, a lot of people try to, overthink it and convolute the whole spiritual and religious thing, but all it is just talking about being a good person. So for anybody that watches the stream that maybe isn't, as educated in the subjects as I am in philosophy or spirituality, you don't even have to be. You just have to know that I'm going to act good and try to move in the energy of love, and then boom, that's all you got to know in spirituality. It could be written on one page. It doesn't have to be in all these religious texts and stuff, They're basically just reiterating the same thing. When you read these religious texts, you need to look at the intention of what it talks about, and not all of the minute details and stuff that it's, because there is value in that. I'm not discrediting it, but the main intention is the same, because just like in a painting of, say, a modern art piece where it's abstract, say if we take a stick man, for example, you can infer by that stick man that there would be details and stuff. It's just a lower resolution of the same thing. Kind of like, that's what I'm talking about here with religion, is if you distill it to the lowest resolution, it would be love. And then once it becomes more detailed and stuff, there's obviously things to gain from it. But the essence remains love. Look at this. We have the Hierophant on the cut. So let's ask the world here. What are some things that society misunderstands about religion and spirituality? I'm getting specific here with the tarot because it'll tell us. It's a knowledge of self, so it'll tell us. Let's see what it wants to say here. What's a misconception that the mainstream has about religion and spirituality? We have strength. So we'll take to the book for answering the question that I just asked here. Let's see what misconceptions society holds on religion and spirituality, please. The white wise woman, white because she's wearing a white dress, not because she's Caucasian, okay? and the red line address the archetypal beauty and beast theme. Each one's release and salvation is dependent on that of the other. Thus, this card also describes a personal culture in which we succeed in letting creative powers flourish. The beauty and the beast, you have both of them inside you. So a lot of by that I'm getting in society, okay, people tend to think that spiritualists are just pussies, but it's a balancing and it's a taming of those forces in you. You know, it's like we're acknowledging that we have these that the beast inside us, but it's how can we use the beast to our advantage and tame the beast and actually use that beast, which is the ego. Okay, so if you look at the card here, this woman here is not forcefully shutting the lion's mouth. She's actually just gently petting his little snout. Okay, so she has a like both. This is basically yin and yang. So the red lion and the white woman represent the strongest side of human nature. As the personification of wildness and wisdom, they increase our vitality. And at the same time, they warn us about their unconscious versions, known as the anima and animus. That's Carl Jung. So these experts themselves in animal instincts and wild thoughts, which swirl under the surface, think about the sorcerer's apprentice, who had no idea what he was saying and bringing out about. Spiritual experience, as above, so below. Man and woman have two centers of lust, one between their legs and one between their ears. As a card of the day, fulfillment is being present in the full, concentrating all one's strength to focus on the moment. As prognosis or tendency, the key to potency is a recognition and reconciliation of strengths and weaknesses. So I'll go into something there too, guys, where in life, right, we have to be conscious of our strengths, stand in them. At the same time, we have to be vulnerable and accept our weaknesses, seek other people that can help us with those weaknesses. Like for me, for example, I'm a creative dude, you know? I've accepted that. I'm on this earth to be creative. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm not trying to talk on shit that I don't know about. I'm not trying to, act like, I would never start speaking shit on something that I don't know about. But I'm confident in what I do know. If I were to ever need to do some sort of bookkeeping or analytical banking, I wouldn't try to tackle it myself because my brain doesn't work with numbers that well. Like I failed at math in school and I just sucked ass at that kind of thinking because that's not how my brain works, But if I were to just think, oh, I'm just bad at everything in school, or my brain just doesn't work at all because I can't do math, you're really selling yourself short, We all have strengths and weaknesses we have to embody. Anyone successful is not afraid to ask for help at all because, you're just using somebody else's expertise. Like we don't have time to know everything and we don't have time to do everything, so we have to seek help, know what we're good at, know what we're not good at, and move on with our life. God gave us gifts to embody and to cultivate more than others. So for it says, for love and relationships, forget useless ideals and half-hearted activity. Give the force a new chance. For success and happiness, to live in the fullness of one's strength is to be completely present at a given moment. So this card is also the card for high points and peak sexual experiences. See the blue mountains here in the symbology. It says, as well as in every other walk of life. So being in the moment too is great because when you're in the moment, you're very focused on the beauty around you and you're receptive to life. If you're always in the past or if you're always in the future, then you'll be on your deathbed thinking, wow, damn, I was always trying to get to somewhere. And I isn't there a saying that says that It's not the destination, it's the journey, right? When you go on a trip, a lot of the time when you get to the place, it's kind of underwhelming because it's like, holy shit, we've driven 7 days for this. It's like, but on those 7 days, stopping at little hotels and with my family when I was doing that, that was always a really fun part for me. Like eating fast food every day, I loved it. The journey is always way more fun than the actual destination. The destination will never reach the hype. That's why I don't overhype anything these days, is because it's like, man, it'll never live up to the hype. In some cases, it exceeds your hype if you don't have any expectations on it. So let's see here. What's something for the collective here that they can... what's a warning? How about? What's a warning? Because I'll tell you what, guys, we each have devils inside of us. We each have demons in our brain that are trying to stop us from reaching our goals, And these demons in our brain are very real, okay? In demonology, it's about studying all the demons, because when you know the demonic archetypes of each specific demon, then you actually know how to differentiate the thoughts in your mind, and you know how to avoid those thoughts that are demonic. So a lot of people think of demons as external, but really demons are internal. They can manifest physically in your mind to you, but are they really manifesting physically, or is that just your mind? You know what I mean? So what's something here that we can, a demonic voice that we can avoid? Okay? Because that's practical advice that we can take forth into our life. Negative tendency here in our brains, it says the Hierophant, okay? So a lot of these negative, I'll just go in by a little bit of what I know with this card, and then we can move on to the book. But basically here, it says that, see these guys right here, the monks shave their heads like that for spiritual reception to God. But this card speaks of a warning against religious ideals, okay? So that's actually a demon in our brain, is the religious thought pattern, okay? So religion is like a brick, okay, that we knock on the door of God with. But when we go inside God's house, we leave the brick outside, okay? So spirituality isn't the end goal. It's a tool to understand the modalities of spirituality. But once you ascend to a certain point, you leave religion behind, and you leave those doctrines that got you to that mode of thinking behind. And then you totally dissolve away with all these doctrines, and then you understand the inner God, and then you go into the realm of spirituality, okay? So this card warns us. I asked, what are some demonic archetypes in our brain that can be avoided? Theology, okay? Or doctrines. And what are some common theological doctrines that we see in religion? Well, the whole point of slave mentality, let's say, with money and just not trying to be successful because we think that's vanity. Money is neutral, and striving for money isn't bad, Like we can just, striving for money alone is bad, but if we put love out there and we want to become financially successful, that's not bad, So a lot of these religious ideals that are in the Bible or in different religions are kind of a negative fucking black eye on society, bruh. Because if you look at it like this, if you go into Christianity, they'd say, our faith is the best. We're going to convert everyone to Christianity. Why? Why is that? Why? How do you know everything that you're saying that every other religion is wrong? Like that's an archetype, or that's a theological modality that's fucked up. It's racist. It's prejudice. If someone was born in a country that didn't have Christianity, are you calling them evil? And then a Christian would argue, oh, they if they don't know the truth, or if they haven't given the opportunity to know what's wrong, then they won't be blamed for it. But once they do know that Christianity exists, then they've made a conscious effort of denying it. So then, yes, they'd be evil. But like I always argued with Christians that that's just such a falsehood, you know? It's like no matter what way you're trying to strive towards God and ascension, God doesn't give a fuck what you call him. It's about intention, okay? So if you look at it like this, you take a bicycle wheel, okay? And you take the center spoke. We're going to say the center spoke is God, right? All the spokes are different religions and different spiritualities that can lead to the same thing, God. So Christianity, it can lead to God. So can Judaism, so can yogic practices, so can any spiritual practice. They all lead to the same God, right? It's a misconception in other religions like the Brahmanistic religion, Hinduism, that they have so many idols, and they, you know, Christians look at it like, oh, they're so different than us. They worship all these gods and shit. It's like, no, they don't. They have many aspects of the Godhead, just like Christianity has the three Trinity, which comprise the singular monotheistic Godhead, right? Fucking Brahmanism is also monotheism. They think that there's also just one God. They just have many different gods to represent the various archetypes of the one God. Like if we take the Bhagavad Gita, for example, you know, God came to the man in the one form initially, which he was comfortable with. But eventually, through the understanding of what that God was saying to him in its beautiful form, God started to reveal himself to man in the various monstrous forms, until at the end he was like, had fucking body parts in his face. The God had, like, you know, limbs in his mouth, and the man was terrified of that God because, as I discussed in my last video, that God is death and rebirth, and God is not a forgiving God in all senses. God is just and acts on moral law. So, you know, there's a big misconception in Christianity, let's say, and in religion, where a lot of other religions have all these idols and stuff. But like in the Brahmanistic religion or Hinduism, they're encouraged to pick their own idol because they acknowledge that the Brahman, which is the life force, the subconscious, or the, you know, eternal consciousness that resides in all sentient things or living things, they're encouraged to pick their own idol because they know that God is in everything and there's one God. That's just the life force, you know. In science or metaphysics, we look at it as the God particle. It exists in literally everything. So negative modes of thinking, bro, straight up. And a lot of Christians don't even know that in like the Vatican and the Pope and stuff, they hold this esoteric knowledge. They know a lot of these, you know, truths. Just like on the Triple Crown there and the Triple Cross, that all represents, on the Pope's crown there, there's 7 levels to it. That's the 7 levels of, we'll say, you know, there's different levels to the Maya. You have the earth, which is the material plane, and then it gradually gets less dense once you go towards God. And the Pope knows all these esoteric truths, but they don't share it because you can't oppress people when they have self-worth, basically, right? When they're always looking for an external God, you can't really suppress them as easily. So in the Bible, it says how we're a reflection of God. You know, man was made in God's image. Basically what that means is we're the physical representation of God's energetic body. Like when he goes through those 7 levels and energy gradually becomes more dense, we're the physical manifestation of God, but it's not like God is in another dimension that is a physical human body. You know what I mean? So when you study deep magic and deep esoteric knowledge and stuff, like the pentagram, you see that that's man, and that's also a symbol at the same, an energetic symbol. So also a little tidbit here is in the Kabbalah, those 7 levels of the Maya that go up to God, right? And the ascension process, if we look at it in our 7 chakras in our body, that also directly correlates to the energetic realm. Okay, so we have like 7 planets in the universe. That's how astrology and shit works, because it directly relates with our chakras, our energy centers in our body. So that's why 7 is such a common theme in religion, is because it's about the macrocosm, which is the external, and the microcosm, which is our psyches, or like man in himself. So there's no differentiation in between anything in the world. There's just physical manifestations of energetic truths. That's why in alchemy, the process of doing scientific experiments in the real world and knowing the philosophy behind it as well works so well, because you're starting to see the relationship between these formulas and what's happening in a physical sense. That's also happening in a philosophical sense as well, because they're both essentially the same truths. They're just you're just physically working with forces that are deep, and that are just showing you in the physical realm what's existing in the energetic realm, you know? So let's see here. The Hierophant, bruh. What are some negative things, some demons that we can avoid in ourself? Let's see. The Hierophant, too, for those of you who don't know, is actually the high priest in the tarot. Like, people are like, oh, there's a high priestess, but there's no high priest. That's technically the Hierophant. This would be the high priest. So the Greek word means he who proclaims what is sacred. In some schools of initiation, the high priest is referred to as a Hierophant. This card is a reminder of... Did I just say what yeah, see, literally what I just said. I didn't even read that. I had to look that up. This book is great because it's like old school tarot knowledge. The card is a reminder of such rituals generally, and the popes of the Catholic Church, and originally the whole Christian church. As with every card, use it as a mirror. The key is in your hands. Basic meaning: what was once the task of the priests and the high priest now develops upon us all. How can we find personal answers to the great and little mysteries of life? How can we organize our high days and holidays? Both the main and the minor figures in this image symbolize our personal strengths and weaknesses. Together, they lead to the quintessence, to which the divine spark, to that which is holy in every human being, and which is often bottled up and stowed away. So, spiritual experience. Every person who reveals what is sacred is a spiritual teacher for everybody else. As a card of the day, share your secrets, and open yourself up to their needs. Jesus. It says, share your secrets with others and open yourself up to their needs. Okay? Damn. As a prognosis or tendency, this is how you come to grasp with the sense of your life. What makes sense vitalizes the senses. For love and relationships, which events, which days of the year, which turning points in life have been of significance to yourself or those close to you? Sanctify these great and little occasions with reverence and devotion. There is nothing more important than yourself. For success and happiness, the key, one's own competence. So if we go back to that and talking about, answering a lot of those esoteric questions and those existential questions that religion wants to answer, we don't have to actually seek religion like in the olden days to answer that, okay? Because in the olden days, psychology didn't exist. So they used mythology to explain these psychological truths, because once you read something and it resonates with you on a spiritual level, you accept that as a truth. They're not literal truths, like dragons didn't literally exist, but when we talk about slaying a dragon, we resonate with destroying our ego. And it is a truth. It's a universal truth out there. They just didn't have psychologists and psychiatrists in the olden days. So they used a beautiful form of, allegories to explain our psyche. So a lot of the time, guys, we don't have to actually go to religion to answer, like, what is the meaning of life and stuff like that, and what is this and that. We can actually develop our own meaning of life inside of us, and we can live for our own purposes that we hold true to ourselves. We need to just develop our own, motivations in life. We shouldn't look to religion to motivate us, right? I like how in the book there it talked about, the inner God and not having to seek an external God as well. It's pretty cool. So let's go back to the guidebook here, or I mean the messages from the guides, because let's see what the angels are wanting to say. They're screaming in my ear. They're saying, I want to talk. Let's see. Because I've been ranting on my own philosophy and spirituality for too long. I'm just going to go to the book here. Let's see what it says. What does the universe, or what do the angels and the collective spirit guides want to tell them at this point in time to help them gain understanding and self-confidence? It says, choose love over fear. So as you guys can see, love is a very common theme in today's tarot pulls, which is great because that's a high energy that I was feeling on to why I got on here in the first place. So let's see what the book wants to tell us about choose love over fear, guys. My mouth is just dry because I've been dripping so much sauce on y'all. Holy shit. Choose love over fear. Love is the natural energy of your soul. Fear is learned in the physical dimension, but with work it can be unlearned. In a perfect world, love would be taught and fear would be an anomaly. But we don't live in a perfect world. It is perfect, however, in the sense that it creates a place for your soul to encounter the energy of fear in its many guises and to dispute it with the energy of your inner being. As you become aware of yourself and as the being here, I'm going to write something down so I don't forget this shit. Okay. Um, as you become aware of yourself as a being of light having a physical experience, it is incumbent upon you to use your natural energy of love in all your daily encounters. When you make a choice to give into fear instead of love, you are not acting from your soul's truth. This causes difficulties instead of ease, impatience instead of acceptance, upheaval instead of peace. Uh, you are a rower fighting a current instead of going with the flow. Every human decision you make can be boiled down to two options, love or fear. Love is kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and empathy. Fear is judgment, guilt, retribution, and envy. Do your best to follow your innate energy rather than the energy instilled upon you. Love is the great source of oneness of all. Fear is the earthly illusion. Once you acknowledge the difference, the choice between the two is easy. What's up, Demi? Yeah, guys, when you go with the natural flow, when I was a kid, you have that rebellious energy. Fuck society, bro. I'm going against it. But even as a kid, I was under the impression that if you go with the grain, if you become a square, then when you're going with the flow, life is much easier. Like, then you're not resisting anything. And I'm going to share with you guys what I wrote down there. Here it says, a lot of the times we have negative emotions and we look at them as so shitty. But without negative emotions, we couldn't experience happiness, guys, right? Because think of this. In an idealistic world, how when you're happy all the time, that would be so boring, because happiness would eventually dissolve into neutrality, because happiness is, you only feel happy because it's the opposite of feeling shitty, you know? Like that saying, you bang your head in the against the wall because it feels good when you stop, type of thing. It's basically talking about how there's seasons to the world, you know? So when you're in a stage of depression or something, know that that's integral to happiness, and there's only one way up from that, you know? There's only one way up from rock bottom. So like depression, anxiety, all these feelings are natural because they're put there so you can experience happiness. Like we have to have both in life for them to exist. So yeah. I'm not streaming. I stream on Twitch. I'm going to be doing some gaming and stuff. I play Fortnite on Twitch, but right now I really want to dive into like other platforms and go super hard into posting on Instagram. I post on Facebook as well. You can follow me on Facebook. On my like page is Doobie Doug, and I post different philosophical quotes and spirituality and stuff, and some tarot things. But it's a lot of my music. I make rap music that has a spiritual ascension theme to it. So yeah, I'm gonna get on a bunch more platforms. I want to go on Twitter too and start to share a lot of the philosophy and spirituality on there. But right now you can basically just catch me on Facebook, and I'll be posting my gaming to YouTube as well, because we need that balance, you know? We need that balance. Having some fun too. Look at this, possess self-confidence. Since the theme is self-confidence, I'm going to read what this says on the cut here, because this whole theme is love and self-confidence, self-worth, being self-aware, knowing your strengths, knowing your weakness. So let's see what, look, I was going for the tarot book for this. Let's go and see what possess self-confidence says in this messages from the guides transformation cards deck. Do you want me to pull some cards for you, Dimmy? Dimey? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I like that you have your own little logo though. That's lit. What kind of channel do you have? Clearly you have a YouTube channel. It's cool that you came here, because this was meant to be, because like I have 8 subscribers, so I was meant to talk to you. You were meant to come in here. That's the universe working, law of attraction. 84, possess self-confidence. Okay. No one knows you better than you know yourself. Living your life trying to fulfill the expectations of others is disregarding your soul's blueprint. As you contemplate this card, think to yourself, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. When you have a strong sense of self, you are sure of yourself and fully understand the choices you make. Understanding your choices and acting on them also involves accepting the consequences. It can become so easy to blame others for your woes if you allow them to influence you. You must learn to trust yourself enough so that you can access the wisdom within your soul, because it belongs to you. You are the receptacle of the wisdom and the guidance that is unique to your soul's path. So you have the confidence to put it into action. You are a courageous soul for choosing to come back into this dimension of illusion and limitation. So channel that courage now that you are here. Don't miss the opportunities that the guides have strewn on your path by following in someone else's footsteps. Never lose the courage of your own convictions, guys. Trust that inner intuition. It says here, blaming others, okay? So a lot of the time, we like to blame others for our own, where we are in life, okay? But in reality, you're in charge of your options, you know? Like, the government's not holding you down, society's not oppressing you. We're in the age of the internet, and, you know, we can just blossom, and basically you can be as successful as you want to work. So once you start to acknowledge the you know, where you are in life is your own doing, then you really become empowered, because everything that happens in your life, you say, what could I do to change it? Say if you're in an argument with somebody, it really pisses them off when you say, okay, like, yeah, I'm sorry that I did that. I'll try to change that next time. It pisses them off because they want to argue. But if you really do take it like, oh, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I didn't realize that that was a negative shortcoming that I should work on. It just pisses them right off. Let's see, Dimmy, my logo is made by someone that I met on Fiverr. Yo, I was just looking into Fiverr today and trying to do some things on Fiverr. And I made this logo because I stream on Twitch. Let's go. And I'm aiming to become a professional player gamer for CSGO. Oh, CSGO, that's lit. What's your name on TV? It's also Doobie Doug. Yeah, that's cool. I'll definitely check out your stuff. I knew a guy that used to play CS:GO, and man, he was like doing it competitively and stuff, and he was making bank. He was actually like super high ranked at one point. He was telling me he was like top 100, and that's no cap. But yeah, Fiverr's lit. I was gonna try to do some voiceover work on there since I have my mic and since I have like my digital audio workstation. I'm like, as a magician, you know, you're trying to use the resources you have to for the best of your ability to manifest. So I'm like, hey, what do I have that I can work with? I got a mic. I'm like, I could try to do some voiceover work. I got some charisma to me, so I'm gonna try Fiverr out. And I had another couple little things too that I wanted to do in Fiverr. That's easy, but it's just a good example of kind of what I'm saying about, you know, we have the tools that we need. It's just we have to put in the work, and we have to gain the you know, we just have to put it on ourselves. No one is holding us back, you know. With Fiverr, you can get on there and you can have like, I was looking, you can have like 8 different gigs set up. So you could be, say, making Photoshop things. Like for me, for example, using my talents, I could be making jingles for companies. I could be doing voiceover works, fucking headshots for companies. Like, you know, it's just all about an abundance mentality and putting in the work at the end of the day. And streaming too. Like for streaming, I'm like, well, I game anyway, so I might as well stream and bring some you know, traffic back into my YouTube channel. So it's kind of just using your resources and doing what you have. Did you pull cards for me? Can you, why don't you give me like a question and then I can ask the universe? But I'll ask right now. Let's see here. How successful is Dimmy's Twitch streaming going to be? Let's ask, okay? Let's see some advice for Dimmy's future on his success or her success on this gaming platform. And obviously you're going to be successful because you're following your passion. Right there is key, you know? If you're doing something you love, other people will see that too, and you'll become successful at it because you'll find your soul tribe and your niche. So any other CS:GO people that are finding it will dig it. Even me, like right now, I don't even play CS:GO. I'm gonna watch you, so it's already working out for you. Let's see what the universe wants to tell you here. Ooh, you got the Emperor. Let's go, dude. That's like the best. He's top shit. He's wise because of his white beard. He's also holding the Ankh in his hand. The Ankh represents life because the Ankh was actually perverted. Let's see what you said. I honestly don't know what to ask. Or sorry, what question? Want to make my dreams come true and stop overthinking and doing tarot too much. Dude, yeah, that's what I mean, dude. That's what I was doing too. I was just telling somebody previously in the stream that I deleted so many tarot people off of YouTube because I had a tarot addiction. I'm not afraid to tell it. Like when I would cook, I'd listen to tarot. When I'd eat, I'd watch tarot. When I'd like do all this, I'd watch tarot. Like initially I was watching tarot to learn, but eventually I'm like, if you are so involved with asking the future what's going to happen, you're not living in the present and you're not actually manifesting in a way that you're not trying to chase and you're not just trying to attract. So some advice that I could give for you is that if you just, I was watching Gary Vee today and he's like, just, you know, fuck it. Put in the effort and you don't have to know everything. Because a lot of the time, you know, we might get discouraged by our success rate and like we might say, oh, I only have 2 subscribers and it's kind of shitty. I'm sitting here with 8 subscribers and I'm putting just good content out there, and I'm not really worried about the results, you know? So I could say for you on your streaming platform, just focus on making valuable content, and then the subscribers will follow suit because they'll see the value that you're providing, you know? Because yesterday I did like 2 3 readings, and I think I'm overthinking, and it's only making me doubt it. Yeah, that's what it was like for me too. The confidence is having, okay, no matter what the reading says, I'm just going to go forth, because the tarot is a knowledge of self, and a lot of the time it's just clarifying our intuition, right? So we kind of pull a card, it clarifies it, we move on. But if we're relying on the information of the tarot alone, then we're ignoring our inner voice, you know? So I'm going to read from the book here on what the Emperor says, and let's see if it resonates with you on just stopping the overthinking and putting in the action. Because that's what I did tonight too. I was always planning and stuff, and then I just thought, you know, you don't have to know it. Like, I don't know everything about tarot, but at the same time, I'm on here talking my shit. You know what I mean? So I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I'm just kind of taking the steps. The old saying is that if you take the steps, God will put the stepping stones in place, right? But you have to first take the steps. And it's really been like working out for me, because when I come on here, God never leaves me hanging, you know? Like, he always backs up with the cards what I talk about. So on your channel, if you put in the effort and just kind of, you know, commit to it, go in with confidence, and you'll notice that shit will start to manifest for you, because you're having the confidence. So God will see that, and God will back you up on that shit, bro. So let's see here. The Emperor. Let's see what you said first. Yeah, but I'm not even worried about success. I'm just worried about like doing what I want, putting it out there, attracting my tribe, like people like you. Like, I didn't even say that I streamed on Twitch, and you're a Twitch streamer that came to me, so it's kind of cool. You kind of attract your tribe when you don't have any intention with it. You're just being yourself, you know? Before you were doubting yourself too much, but now I'm getting better and better at being confident. I think God is giving me a sign to continue what I'm doing. Oh, for sure, dude. I'm your sign. You came here for me to tell you this. I have 8 subscribers. It's the law of attraction. I was meant to see what you're trying to say, and you were meant to see me. So I'm going to go into the Emperor card here. It says, to be the ruler of one's own life, to be in control of oneself, to be the first, to face the unknown, undaunted, to find a desert and transformation it into a garden. And this is the might of the Emperor. And of course, it is available to women as well as men, if there's any women watching. So the basic meaning of the Emperor card is that the Emperor, a king, Zeus, Jupiter, and countless other father figures can be associated with this image. It is a mirror of one's own virility and a woman's male side. This card relates to one's own experiences as a man or with men, the inheritance of the father, grandfather, and all the male ancestors. So I'm getting that you have a lot of male ancestors too backing you up. The Emperor is the part of us which explores new possibilities in life. Right? Is that resonating? New possibilities in life, bro. The ram there on his throne. See how he has 2 ram heads on the arms of his throne? Is the pioneer in us. The first sign of the zodiac, the absolute beginner. So in Buddhism too, they talk about the beginner's mind, and it's about going into a situation not as an expert but as a beginner, because for people that think they know everything, the truth isn't available to them. But say if you go into your Twitch streaming platform and you go in with a beginner's mind, like you're going to learn and grow, then you'll flourish way better than if you go in, say, overconfident. Like, it is good to have some humbleness about you, because that's the beginner's mind in Buddhism, or in Zen, sorry, which derives from Buddhism and Tao. So spiritual experience, a man can stand anything if he can stand himself. So if you're doing tarot and the knowledge of self, of course you got Twitch. That's nothing, you know? You've already freaking encountered. It's way harder to damn, I'm trying to say like you know, conquer, that's the word. Conquer yourself than conquer Twitch, right? Conquering yourself with the tarot is much harder, so you've already done that, bro. It says, as a card of the day, wake up your pioneering spirit. Check out the scene, accomplish things for yourself. As a prognosis tendency, there is much to be gained by seeing this card not just as a representation of an external order, but also a symbol of personal self-determination. And each person brings something new into the world. This newness needs a chance to develop. So say if you're looking at Twitch and you're like, man, I don't know if I could do Twitch. There's so many people on there and they're so good, but they're not you. You have a uniqueness about you that the world needs to see. And on Twitch, you can bring that to it. You have so many other skills outside of gaming that in the gaming scene, that'll just bring so much life into the gaming scene because of your uniqueness. So it's like we each have a lane in the world that we can go into, you know, just like in rap, they talk about like there's a name for there's a place for like all different rappers. Like there's not just only one, you know, like one kind of rapper. Like look at Post Malone, right? He was a white rapper and wearing grills and shit, but he's successful, you know? So it's like no matter what you go into, if you let your uniqueness shine, that'll actually help bring more fans and shit to you, bro. I'll check out your Twitch here on Dimmy TV, guys. Check him out on Dimmy_TV_. So let's pull some messages from the guides for you too here, because that was pretty on point, right? With the Emperor, just I'm talkative and I like to talk with people and have conversation of everything. For sure, yeah. And on your Twitch, I would recommend just to not limit yourself just to talking about the game and maybe branch out and just speak. And I love to watch that too when I'm like watching gamers and stuff when they're talking about other shit. It's great. It kind of like it kind of helps you attract a more of a niche, because like I was saying earlier, what Gary talks about here is that it's not a context, or sorry, it's not a content battle, it's a context battle. So it's not about releasing so much content and what your content is. It's about actually getting a closer niche, you know? Like he was talking about, say, like marketing. I'll give you some marketing tips here if you want to market your Twitch. You don't want to market to everybody. You want to market to a specific subset of the society. So maybe find 3 things that, you know, you're an expert on, and then you can say speak on some of those other things while gaming, and then you'll attract a shit ton of people in that one subset of society, instead of trying to attract millions of people. Like, you know, that's how you start a business. You target one demographic. You don't target everybody. You like rap a lot. This is my whole life. Started listening to X and then I followed others. Yeah, dude, X was very motivational because he was always talking about, you know, not really striving for materialism and just spreading love into the world. And look how successful he was, because he just, you know, spread love. And X really went, and he was fearless at the same time. And he was very balanced in that he was a loving, very sweet soul, but he had the male energy into bringing it into the physical world and actually going out there and having the male dominance to be fearless at the same time. You know, you have to have both yin and yang. So the fact that you're a good conversationalist and stuff, that's really great on Twitch, because on Twitch a lot of people are like either a good gamer, that's why they're famous on Twitch, because they'll rape any, or